You know, as the years pass, I've come to believe that aging isn't really about the birthdays behind us. It's about the clarity ahead of us. And I want to start today's conversation with a simple thought. Your body is always speaking to you. The question is, have you been listening? Sometimes life slows down just enough for us to hear things we used to ignore. The stiffness in the morning, the deeper breaths we take before standing up, the quiet moments when we ask ourselves, why does my body feel different than it used to? If you've ever felt that way, trust me, you're not alone. I want you to imagine this. It's early morning, the house is quiet. You're holding a warm cup of coffee, and as the steam rises, you suddenly realize just how far you've come. The challenges you've overcome, the strength you've built, the wisdom you've collected. But along with that wisdom comes something else, a deeper awareness that your body needs a different kind of care now. Not harsher, not stricter, just more intentional. A patient of mine once told me, "Doctor, I feel like my body whispers first, and if I don't listen, it starts to shout." And that sentence stayed with me for years, because it's true for so many of us. As we age, our muscles, our joints, even our digestion, they all speak their own language. Some mornings they say, "Take it slow today." Other times they say, "You're stronger than you think." The work, the real work, is learning to tell the difference. And here's the part many people forget. Your body isn't declining by default. It's adapting. It's reorganizing. It's trying to protect you. And nutrition, well, that's one of the most powerful tools you have to support that process. I've seen this over and over again in my practice. A 67-year-old man who thought fatigue was just aging until he changed a few simple habits and felt decades lighter. A grandmother in her 70s who regained the strength to lift her grandchild again because she chose to nourish her muscles in a smarter way. These changes weren't miracles. They were the result of paying attention. So before we go any deeper today, I want to ask you something gently, like I ask all my patients. When was the last time you paused long enough to truly hear what your body was trying to tell you? Because this video, this conversation, is not just about food or nutrients or science. It's about reclaiming a sense of agency in your life. It's about remembering that you still have the power to shape your health, your strength, and your everyday experience. And if you're willing to sit with me for a little while, I'd like to show you exactly how to do that, starting with the foods that quietly, consistently, and profoundly support your body as you age. Let's begin. You know, over the years, I've noticed something. The way we start our morning often decides the kind of day our body will give us. And for many of my patients, especially those in their 60s or 70s, the morning is when the body speaks the loudest. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it sighs, and sometimes it begs for a little extra support. Let me tell you how I guide them, not with complicated routines, but with small, meaningful habits that nourish the body from the inside out. Most mornings, before anything else, I remind them to wake the body before waking the mind. Just 2 minutes, gentle shoulder circles, a slow rotation of the hips, a soft stretch down the hamstrings. I call it the morning mobility primer. And you'd be surprised how many people later tell me, "Doctor, I didn't know my knees could feel this warm again." Because movement, even the smallest kind, sends a simple message to your muscles. I'm here. Let's get going. And then, of course, comes the ritual almost all of us cherish, coffee. But I want you to imagine your morning coffee becoming more than just a comfort, becoming a tool for rebuilding strength. One of the first things I share is this: collagen. Just a scoop, 10 to 15 grams. It melts quietly into the cup, almost invisible. But inside your body, it's rebuilding the tissues that carry you through the day. Your tendons, your ligaments, the cushioning in your joints. One patient, a retired carpenter, told me he'd forgotten what smooth movement felt like until he added collagen to his coffee for a few weeks. Sometimes I'll suggest adding a little Ceylon cinnamon, just half a teaspoon. It's gentle, warm, comforting. But behind that warmth is a real scientific gift. Better insulin sensitivity, steadier blood sugar, and an easier environment for your muscles to grow. Many people don't realize this, but stable blood sugar in the morning is like giving your metabolism a steady hand to hold on to. Other mornings, I'll ask them to try a spoon of pure cocoa. Not the sweetened kind, but the real, earthy cocoa. It opens up blood flow, helps your muscles take in oxygen, and gives you that light lift of endurance without any crash. One woman in her 70s told me it made her daily walk feel less like effort, more like rhythm. If inflammation has been nagging at them, tightness, soreness, that deep ache behind the knees or shoulders, I'll gently encourage something almost magical: turmeric with black pepper. I know it sounds simple, almost too simple, but when the pepper increases the absorption of curcumin by up to 2,000%, your muscles feel the difference. I've watched people who struggled with recovery suddenly find themselves more mobile, more comfortable, more willing to move again. And while coffee is warm and comforting, I often remind them, don't let it steal your nutrients. Have a few berries on the side, blueberries, cherries, whatever you've got, small, colorful, full of polyphenols that quiet inflammation and help circulation. A tiny handful, but a big message to your cells: stay resilient. Now, for those who want to truly support their muscles, especially anyone worried about losing strength with age, I talk about whey protein. 20 to 25 grams is enough to flip the switch on your body's muscle-building machinery. It's the leucine in it. That's the spark. And I've seen so many older adults regain confidence just by feeding their muscles what they've been missing. Some mornings, people need steadier energy, not the jittery kind, not the crash later kind. And in those cases, I'll recommend a teaspoon of coconut oil or MCT oil. It's like giving your brain and muscles a clean-burning fuel source. Diabetics especially tell me they love it because it gives energy without pushing their blood sugar around. Before all of this, for those with sluggish digestion, and we all hit that stage eventually, I suggest a drop or two of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. It wakes up the stomach, helps absorb the protein, and sets the whole system in motion. One man joked with me, "Doctor, my digestion woke up before I did." And honestly, that's a victory. And for anyone who enjoys creaminess in their coffee, I always say, choose wisely. A high-protein milk, or even whole milk, can give your bones and muscles a meaningful dose of calcium and protein, two partners that work best when they show up together. Finally, I remind them to start with good black coffee, clean, organic if possible, not for the trend, but because the antioxidants and purity of the beans help your metabolism run smoother, reduce oxidative stress, and support your energy throughout the day. All of these habits, they're not rules, they're invitations. Invitations to treat your morning as a moment of care rather than routine. To nourish a body that has carried you through so much and still has so much left to give. And I say this with all honesty. After decades of watching people transform, it's never too late to support your strength, your clarity, your vitality. Every morning is a new chance, and your body is always listening to how you begin. As we wrap up today's conversation, I want you to take a quiet moment for yourself, just a breath, and think about what your body has been trying to tell you lately. Not with fear, not with frustration, but with curiosity. Because every small habit you choose each morning, every stretch, every sip, every nourishing choice, is a way of saying to your body, I'm still here, and I still care. And if today's video gave you even a little spark of clarity, or made you feel less alone on this journey of aging with strength, I'd truly be grateful if you tap that like button. Not for the numbers, but because it tells me these conversations matter to you. If you know someone, a friend, a parent, a neighbor, who might need to hear this message, don't hesitate to share this video with them. Sometimes a single conversation can change the direction of someone's health. And of course, if you'd like to keep walking this path with me, if you want more guidance, more science explained simply, more real stories from people just like you, then I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. It means we get to meet here each week, like old friends having a thoughtful chat over coffee. But before you go, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me, which morning habit are you going to try first? Or maybe, what part of your body has been whispering for attention? I read every single comment, truly, and your stories help shape the videos I make next. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to care for yourself. And until we meet again, take care of your body and let it take care of you.